All set?
There we go. All right. So, as we're ready,
Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the,
this meeting of the Glens Falls Planning Board is a virtual meeting as authorized by the New York Executive Order 202.1. The public is participating via Zoom. And the meeting has been advertised on the city's website, notice of which has been posted. This live Zoom meeting is being recorded and will be made available very shortly after ending on the Glens Falls, City of Glens Falls YouTube page, which is available at www.youtube.com and searching for City of Glens Falls. If you wish to participate by making a statement or asking a question, please wait until the moderator opens the meeting for public comments. You should raise your hand until you receive a text stating that you will be called upon in the order of which you have been signaled by the meeting administrator. And with that, let us begin with our board chairman, Mr. Bruno. Go ahead.
good evening. Thank you. We'll begin this evening's meeting with a discussion and approval of the minutes from the April 6, 2021 Planning Board meeting. We'll start with Mr. Hall. Any comments?
I had no comments. Everything looked fine to me. There was a lot of
Yeah,
stuff there. Nice job, Megan.
Yes, good job, Megan. Mr. Green,
No comments.
Mr. Accardi,
No comment. No comment.
okay, thank you. Ms. Culligan,
No comment.
Ms. Murray,
No comments.
who did I miss? Anyone else?
No
Mr.
comment.
Brown?
No comment. Yeah.
Ah, sorry, Kim.
Kim,
Thank you. No comment.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was nice to get all the notes. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Fitzgerald,
No comment.
thank you. Mr. Brown,
No comment.
thank you. Okay, that said, I had no comments either. I make a motion to Glens Falls Planning Board hereby approves the minutes from the April 6, 2021 meeting as submitted. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Murray. Any discussion? None? All in favor?
Yes.
aye.
Yes.
Any opposed?
Yes, yes.
Okay, it's passed. Thank you. All right, moving along. The first item, sign review. Eric Unkoff, president of Lawrence and Cooper Incorporated, owner of tax map section 303.17, block 13, lot 9, commonly known as 21 to 25 Cooper Street, is seeking approval to attach signage to the building known as a shirt factory to list the businesses at this location. Pursuant to City Code, Chapter 180, Section 180-6, this application requires sign review board approval. Mr. Unkoff, are you here?
I'm here.
Thank you. Do you have any comments, anything you'd wish to add before we proceed?
No, I'm here to answer questions.
Very good. Thank you. Are there any comments from the public regarding this application?
There is no one in queue right now that I can see with a hand up.
Thank you. We'll start with our architectural consultant, Mr. Brown. Any comments, questions?
Per my report and previous emails that have been sent out regarding the design, I recommend approval.
Thank you very much. I don't have any comments from the city engineer. I don't know if they went out or not. I didn't get any.
Didn't see any.
So I'll start with, actually, we've already polled all the board members. Everybody's in favor, but I'll just go through the motion anyway. Ms. Colligan,
No comments or questions.
very good. Ms. Murray,
Nope, no comments or questions.
very good, thank you. Mr. Riccardi,
No questions.
thank you. Ms. Andrews,
No questions, thank you.
very good. Mr. Green,
No comments.
and Mr. Hall.
No, I didn't have any comment. I think it looks great. I think it's going to be a welcome addition to the shirt factory and kind of help clear up a lot of the confusion about what's on the inside. I think it looks great.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's a great addition. So that said, could we have a motion to approve?
Sign permit, right?
Yes, correct.
I'd make a motion to the Glens Falls Planning Board, acting as the Board of Sign Review, grant sign approval for the project identified as, where is Eric on here? No, he doesn't show up on this one. Hang on. It's
It's
for the shirt factory, based on the information submitted.
Excellent. Have a second?
Second.
Mr. Green? Any discussion? None?
No.
No.
All in favor?
I agree. I think it'll be a fair petition. Yeah.
Great, thank you. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, very good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
Good looking sign. The next item is Peter Hoffman, owner of tax map number section 310.5, block 2, lot 3, commonly known as 67 to 73 Warren Street, is seeking a curb cut at the front of the property to repave the lot and to change vehicular movement through the lot to one-way traffic, which will enter from Warren Street and exit onto J Street at this location. Pursuant to city zoning, chapter 220, section 220-48A, subpart 2, this application requires an advisory opinion by the planning board to the common council. Is there anyone here representing this application?
Well, I am Peter Hoffman.
Oh, there you are, Peter. Hello. Any comments, anything you wish to add, discuss before we proceed?
No, we did have this several years back before the board for site plan approval. So the site plan was approved back then, and I guess this is the last leg of it to get approval for the curb cut, and but everything else has remained the same.
Good, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any members of the public care to comment on this application?
I see no one in queue right now, Ms. Bruno.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Pape. We'll proceed with our architectural consultant, Mr. Brown.
I recommend a positive advisory opinion.
Very good. Thank you. Again, no comments from the city engineer. We'll begin with Mr. Hall.
Yeah, this was the same one that was in front of us before, correct, Peter? There's really nothing changed from when we approved it originally.
That's correct, Mr. Hall.
Yeah. So I don't have any issue with it. I mean, it's really straightforward. And I think it's going to make everything work a whole lot easier as far as traffic circulation goes within the lot. So I'm fully in favor of it.
Great, thank you. Mr. Green,
I'm fine with it. Everything looks good.
very good. Ms. Andrews?
Yeah, I think everything looks good. I think the one-way traffic will be a benefit. Yeah, it'll be
Great.
good.
Very good, thank you. See, Ms. Murray?
I agree. I think it makes sense. I think it looks good.
Ms. Colligan?
I agree with the rest of the board. I have no concerns or questions.
Mr. Cardy, did I ask you? Sorry.
No,
No comment? Very good. Let's see. We need a seeker for this, Mr. Fitzgerald.
You do not need a seeker.
Thank you. Then we'll proceed.
I have a comment.
Oh, go ahead.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
I think that the apron is too wide because it's taken up part of the sidewalk. It's probably 1/3 of the sidewalk. Maybe you can make that the full width of the sidewalk and shorten the apron, because people are going to trip over that part in the side. I think that's the problem. And the other thing is, I think there's going to have to cut the tree, because the tree was on the west side or east side of the tree. The tree on the east side, it's going to be looks like it's going to be cut. So I don't know. I think you have to. I think you have to make the full width of the sidewalk and shorten the depth of the apron.
Thank you. Any comment, Mr. Hoffman?
I don't quite understand the comment, Dan. I don't understand now.
Are you saying the apron
The
is
comment
too?
was,
Go ahead.
apron is too deep, because you're going to cut a sidewalk. You got a 6-foot sidewalk and then the apron, so that 1/3 of the sidewalk is cut off. So you're gonna trip over when you're walking on the sidewalk. So if you make the apron less deep, then you can full width of the sidewalk. That's all.
Yeah,
That's my comment.
I understand
The
that.
tree, I think the tree looks like the tree is going to cut too.
Well, if it has to be, it will. But with regard to your comment,
That's the comment.
if you can narrow the apron up and still get a passable grade to the apron, then that would be okay. But I don't.
We
I'd have to look at it again.
wouldn't be doing a step off, if I'm understanding correctly, to the left and right, driver's side, passenger side, if you would, as the car is going in. It's not going to be a step off. It'll fan. So there's no, if you're walking down the road, it'd belly or dip down just a little and then dip back up. So it won't be a trip hazard, if I'm understanding that correctly.
Yep.
Where you enter off Warren Street, there'll be no, it'll fan to the left, to the driver's side, to the passenger side. So that when somebody walks, it'll be a gentle slope going east and west.
Right.
But there'll be no step or no trip hazard. And if there is a tree, I think there's a tree around it, but my belief is the tree is going to be far enough away. And if we did have to replace it, we would absolutely replace the tree. If we had to move it one way or the other, I'm not sure where it is.
It's going to be close, Peter. Just
Yeah,
looking at.
If we had to, we did it across the road. We
Right.
moved the tree basins
That's-
and replanted a tree.
Yeah.
In its place. And I mean, I love having the trees in the sidewalk. So I would say if anything has to be done with the tree, there'll be another one to take its place.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Okay, Mr. Riccardi?
I think it's trip hazard because I don't object to it. I don't agree with it. So I don't agree with it. So that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I'll make a motion that the Glens Falls Planning Board hereby submits the following advisory opinion to the Common Council that they should look with favor on the application of Peter Hoffman for a curb cut at the front of his property at 6773 Warren Street, as presented at the meeting of 4 May 2021.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yes, I'm opposed.
Peter Riccardi is opposed.
Yes.
Okay. The motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hoffman.
Thanks, Peter.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
The next item, I hope I pronounced the name right, Mohammed Saud, contract lessee of Kresge's Holdings LLC, owner of. I'm recording in my office. I'm recording on my computer. Hello? Owner of section 302.20, block 30, lot 18, commonly known as 193 Glen Street, is requesting an encroachment permit at this location to place tables and chairs for outside dining. Pursuant to zoning chapter 220-48A subpart 2, this application requires an advisory opinion by the planning board to the common council. Before we start, let me ask a question. Mr. Saud, are you here? Okay, is this a business? I mean, I normally, you're asking for tables and chairs. Is this, I don't mean to sound stupid. Is this for you, or is there a business name associated with this?
We just opened a restaurant about 4 months ago, like January 15th is when we started. It's
Okay.
Mean Cafe. We're right next to Mean Max.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
yeah,
why I asked, because I see Mean Max has tables and chairs out there,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
wasn't quite sure where this was going. Thank you. Appreciate that. So that said, do you have any other comments, Mr. Saud? Am I pronouncing your name right?
Yes, you got it right, sir. As far as comments, I just wanted to make sure. I still don't know the concerns over social distancing as well as people walking through. So I'm asking for advice on how we should protect the customers that are eating outside with the people walking around, because that is quite a bit of concern. I can see from Mean Max, people get a little weary of people walking around. So is there
Sure.
anything that we should take precaution of as far as moving tables back, adding less tables? I needed to know what you guys had input on in that.
Sure, good question. I'll defer to our attorney for the moment, and then we'll get some comments from the board. But Mr. Fitzgerald, are you aware of any?
No, it is a good question, and the regulations, as Mr. Saud points out, I mean, they're constantly changing. So I don't think there's anything specific that's coming to my mind that the board needs to impose on him with respect to this permit, so long as whatever the board grants here, that you just also comply with whatever the New York State rules are at that time. And it may also be just more flexible if they're not incorporated into the board's decision here, so that as the rules change, you can just comply. You may be somewhat limited just by the amount of space that's available to clear enough path. Perhaps even if the board granted all 3 seats right now, if under the New York regulations, you can't fit. I did notice you had a seat closer to the road.
Yep.
And I mean, that would be your call, but if you felt that you couldn't create enough space for people to walk by under the current regulations, you could always just not put that table out until the regulations change. But if the board grants it as you requested, you'd have that ability. So when the regulations allow, you could put that table out.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Fitzgerald. We'll begin with our architectural consultant, Mr. Brown. Any comments?
Just to follow up on the board's attorney's discussion there. As a matter of policy, I don't think the board should be concerned with the design or installation safety aspects of a project, and should restrict itself to just the overall plan. And that's my personal opinion about the board's involvement here. Regardless, the print of the plan that I received was pretty faint. And as best I could tell, there was one table on each side of the entrance. Each table had 2 chairs. If I'm correct on that, then I've got no problem with that and would recommend approval. But also, I think that there has to be a 5-foot clearance provided for pedestrian passage. And I'm grabbing that out of my memory, and I may be incorrect on that. The only question I have is there going to be additional lighting or changes in existing lighting to accommodate these tables?
Sure. So right now, the lighting situation is that the tables that are in both sides of the pillar, they have overhead lighting right on top of it. As far as pedestrian lighting, I have nothing planned, but I could look into some fixtures that I could add in to the pillars to have a better sight through walk, I guess. But whatever you guys recommend, I'm full into looking into it.
Well, that sounds good.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you, Mr. South. All right, we'll proceed with comments from the planning board. I'll start with Ms. Culligan.
I have no questions or comments.
Thank you. Ms. Murray?
So how much space is there between the pillar and that third table out closer to the street? Is there enough space for the 5 feet?
Yes, there is. There's more than enough space for 5 feet. We're looking at about 6 foot even with the table there, And honestly, that table right on the cross is an option that we were exploring. We might not even go ahead and go with it, because for right now we only need those 2 tables just to have that attraction for people knowing that we're a cafe, we're a dine-in place.
Right. Yeah. And then what about if people are parked right there and they open up the door, they have some clearance too before they get to the table?
Yes, of course. We the tables are very small. They're not huge. They're the French style wooden small tables. They're nothing big. And again, it's also because we want people to go quick in and out. We don't want people to stay in too long just because we want to keep things moving. So
Sure.
that's what I would have to say about that.
Okay. Those were my only concerns. Other than that, I think it looks nice. I think it would look very nice with those little tables. Good luck.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Ms. Colligan? Did I already ask you? I lose track here. I need a. Ms. Andrews?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Just for those who don't know the downtown area that much, Mean Max has a fence around their tables, and their tables is just 1 row of tables. So that's about the same space as the 1 and 2 table. But Spot Cafe has 2 sets of tables, so that location of number 3 is that pathway is where Spot has their second set of tables, so which are right on the street, and there seems to be plenty of room for people to open their doors. So I think that in time, both rows would be fine. I think maybe temporarily due to COVID, I think maybe number 3 might want to wait out though, just for general spacing for the public for the time being. But I don't think that should go in because it's not code for us, it's the state. So I think a tentative plan as it is now, I think is good. It's good. No comments.
Thank you. Very good. Mr. Hall?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Google Earth Street View image of it, and having spent a fair amount of time sitting at the tables at Mean Max, there's no issue. It's right near the crosswalk anyway. Actually, some of the space out in front where the brick is, there's about 8 feet of brick, and Mohammed, the size of the tables you're talking about aren't going to interfere with doors opening or anything on that side. So, honestly, I think that the layout with all 3 tables is fine. You're not going to have any issues whatsoever that I can see.
Very good, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Accardi, any comment?
No comment.
Thank you. Mr. Green?
No, I think it's a good project, and I think it's nice when the people are sitting outside. As far as COVID, I think people would rather sit outside rather than be in a crowded inside. But if you're looking for guidance on that, I would get a hold of Janelle Jones at Warren County Health. I'm sure she could advise you on, on your plan, what you need to do and not do.
Janelle Jones?
Yeah, she's the head of the Warren County Health, I believe. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah, that's correct. But you may just go to the New York State Department of Labor or somebody like that as well.
Perfect.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Green. I had no other comments. My comments were echoed by others on the board. So I make a motion that Glens Falls Planning Board hereby submits following advisory opinion to the Common Council that they should look with favor on the application of Mohammed Saud for an encroachment permit, place tables and chairs for outside dining as presented at the meeting of 4 May 2021. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Thank you, Ms. Andrews. Any discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yes.
Peter, are you opposed?
No.
No. Okay, you're in favor. All right, thank you. So that carries. Thank you, Mr. Saud. Good luck.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, you
Thank
too.
you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Let's see. The next item is site plan review 21-0016. Keystone Novelties Distributors LLC. Contract lessee of Peter Shabbat, owner of section 309.28, block 5, lot 4, commonly known as 10 Broad Street, is seeking approval to erect a temporary 20-foot by 40-foot tent for the retail sale of state legal sparklers and fountains at this location pursuant to City Code Chapter 220, Section 220-19C, Subpart 1. This application requires planning board review and approval. Is there anyone representing this application?
Yes, I am Alex Mutzavopoulos.
Thank you, Alex. Anything you care to discuss, comment on, whatever, before we begin our review?
Not too much to go into detail with. We're planning to pretty much mimic the sale style that we had done last year. So this will be from the 24th of June through the 5th of July. We'll have a storage container located on the property as well for the individuals to use to lock up at the end of the night. But we will continue, of course, for the duration of time that we are there and the product is sitting there, that we'll have somebody on site 24/7 to make sure and manage that that's always under watch. And we'll also be providing, of course, a small generator to provide power at night when the lights need to be turned on for a few hours and to charge the point of sale technology that we have. And there will be a portable toilet as well provided on site so that the clerks are able to, of course, use a bathroom at all times.
Very good. Thank you. Any members of the public care to comment on this application?
I don't see anyone in queue or anyone with a hand up at this point, Dan.
Thank you, Mr. Pape. We'll proceed with our architectural consultant, Mr. Brown.
My only concern was, given the small scale of the plan, is there a setback dimension between the inside of the sidewalk and the tent itself that the board would want to see? One might set it at 5 feet or something, so in order that the tent is not up against the sidewalk where people can easily reach it and disturb it or otherwise.
Okay, it sounds like right now they are talking about
So you're recommending a specific setback for the tent?
Yes, I would recommend at least an arm's length for sure. And
So 4 feet, 5 feet?
I think, I just rounded it up to 5 feet.
Okay.
And that might apply to the storage building as well. The only other concern I might have is overnight time. Who will be there to make sure that there isn't any vandalism to the generator or the toilet facilities there?
Hi, my name is Rick Siri, and I work with Alex at Keystone here. And the model that we'll have is the clerks work in teams. So there will be someone there to provide security overnight. They're on site 24/7, as Alex mentioned before. And also, as far as the setback goes, yeah, we'll, the anchorage for the tent will require that the tent itself be set back from the sidewalk. If that's sufficient for you guys, 5 feet would probably be fine. Typically, you need a couple of feet, if the tent is weighed or staked, regardless if it's staked, it's usually around 5 feet. So as far as the setbacks from the sidewalk, and we'll make sure that the storage container is fully on the property, and setback as well. Does that answer the questions?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
believe it does. You good with that, Mr. Brown?
Yes, yeah, I wouldn't want any pedestrians tripping over stakes and ropes and such.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll have them sufficiently covered, so that there's no real danger to anybody, whether they're on the landlord's property or on the sidewalk. So you can be assured of that.
Good.
Thank you. Well, we'll proceed with Mr. Hall. Any comments?
No, I didn't really have any comments about it. It was there last year and they didn't have any, there was no real issues. I know there is a permit that has to be filled out at the city code enforcement office for that, just for the operating permit, I believe. And you said that the thing says that there's no smoking signs that are posted. That, obviously, I think that's a pretty important thing around what you've got here. So those are the two big things for me.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have, of course, no smoking signs posted at all the exits and everything. We make sure that there's, of course, the obvious statements that say you should not be using any kind of fireworks or anything around the area. So we try to make sure it's very clear that we're not using them right in the vicinity.
Yeah. Yep. No, other than that, I think it's a good, obviously a good use of the empty parking lot right there. So I got no issues with it.
Thank you. Mr. Green.
I have no additional comments.
Thank you. Mr. Accardi. Mr. Accardi, any comment?
No comments.
Ms. Andrews.
No comments.
Good. I'm pleased with the security and the lighting and the porta-johns and all that. That's really nice. I appreciate that. And other than that, I have no comments.
Thank you. Ms. Culligan.
No questions or comments.
Thank you. Ms. Murray.
No comments.
Very good. I had none. I'm okay with the setbacks and the security and the safety precautions, the no smoking, etc. So I'm okay with it. Let's see, do we need a seeker on this, Mr. Fitzgerald?
There is an exemption under seeker for what are considered minor temporary uses of land having no permanent or negligible impacts on the land. So I would think that putting a tent up for 2 weeks would fall in that category. And if the board agrees, then no further review would be needed.
Thank you.
Great.
That said, could I get a motion for a
So this is this is just site plan review, correct?
correct?
Yeah, okay. So then I'd make the motion.
There is a short environmental assessment form completed.
Right, but it's not necessary.
Right, okay, right.
Thank you.
I'd make the motion the Glens Falls Planning Board acting as the Board of Site Plan Review hereby grants site plan approval for Keystone Novelty Distributors LLC, contract lessee of Peter Shabbat, owner of 10 Broad Street, for the temporary tent for the use of the for the fireworks sale as presented at the meeting of 4 May 2021.
Thank you. And the applicant will abide by the setbacks discussed and the security and the safety precautions.
Yes, so amended.
Thank you. Second,
Second.
was that Ms. Murray?
Yes.
Thank you. Any discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No,
Okay, that is approved and good luck.
Thank you.
The next item is site plan review 20-0018 SE Realty Company LLC, owner of section 309.11, block 4, lot 1, commonly known as 203 Broad Street, is seeking to erect a temporary 20-foot by 30-foot tent for the retail sale of legal sparkler products at this location. Pursuant to city zoning, chapter 220-18, section 220-18C and 220-18D, this project requires planning board review and approval. Is there anyone here representing this application?
Yes, I'm Michael Steele.
Michael Steele, and you are, your relationship to this?
I'm the owner of the property.
You're the, okay, very good, thank you.
Fireworks sales.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
In full disclosure, Michael is a client of mine. I'm not involved in this project in any way, but just to let that out there that Michael is a client of mine, so.
Thank you,
Hi, Mike.
Mr. Hall, appreciate that. So, Mr. Seal, do you have anything to add before we proceed?
I think this is pretty much identical to the one you just had before that. We actually used to have Keystone on the same spot, and that's why we came to this site plan review, because Keystone went on the adjacent corner to Walgreens, and we were putting our units up where Keystone used to be, and we had a little confusion last year. So
right,
we just wanted to get this clarified so we were both on the same page, and we have separate locations. We're a separate entity.
Very good, we appreciate that. Are there any members of the public that care to comment on this application?
I see nothing right now, Mr. Bruno.
Thank you, Mr. Pape. We'll proceed with our architectural consultant, Mr. Brown.
My concerns are the same as the previous application regarding clearance from the pedestrian sidewalk and security, site security.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, we'll start with planning board. Ms. Murray?
Regarding the security, will you have somebody on site 24 hours a day?
Have security surveillance systems. We actually lock up into a secure building all of the units every single day. It goes out and comes back in. So we don't leave anything in the tent at all. So everything's securely locked. And we also, like I said, the surveillance cameras, but we do not have somebody overnight at the site.
Okay, okay. And the dates, are they, it says approximately 12. Is that firm or no? Are you going to extend that, or is that going to be it?
No, the start date would be, because the tent sometimes goes up a little early and we start to set up. Typically, it's done as of the 5th of July.
Okay.
It is done as of the 5th of July.
Great. Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Very good, thank you. Yeah, you have noted on your cover letter that the sales date is June 25th to July 6th, 2021.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Ms. Murray.
We have time to take the tent down.
Right. Ms. Andrews?
My only concern was site security, and that's previously been addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Colligan?
No comments or questions.
Very good. Mr. Accardi?
no comments. No comments.
Thank you. Mr. Green,
No comment.
Mr. Hall.
No, I don't have any comments. This site, I think, is a little bit bigger and Mike has a lot more space to get stuff spread out. So the pedestrian access isn't as big a deal for that. And it ran really well for the last few years. Mike does a good job with it.
Very good, thank you. That said, again, Mr. Fitzgerald, I don't believe seeker is required here.
Yes, Mr. Bruno, the same conclusion as the last project. This doesn't appear to be any different. No
Thank
further
you.
review is needed.
Okay. I'll make a motion to Glens Falls Planning Board, acting as a Board of Site Plan Review, hereby grants site plan approval for the project identified as SE Realty Company LLC, located at 203 Broad Street, as presented at the meeting of 4 May 2021. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Accardi on the second. Any discussion? None. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Any opposed? So moved.
Thank you very,
Thank you, Mr. Seal. Good luck.
thank you.
All right, the next item was site plan review 21-0017. That has been tabled at the request of the city and the concurrence of the applicant. This is new. I don't know if it's law, but the sales of
CBD oil.
CBD, well, it's a little more than that, I think. So the city is still reviewing that. And as I said, sent a letter to the applicant. The applicant agreed to table this to give the city more time to formulate their approach, shall we say. So that's tabled.
Okay.
So the next item is architectural review. Bear with me for a minute. Architectural review 21-0019, Downtown Barber Company LLC, owner's tax map number section 302.20, block 30, lot 21, commonly known as 173 to 175 Glen Street, is seeking to repair and reface the storefront and entryway at this location. Plans include replacing the concrete walkway, adding lights and a barber pole, and installing new signage. Pursuant to zoning chapter 220-19, section 220-19E, this application requires planning board review and approval. Is there anyone here present representing the application?
Yes, that's me, Michael Bucero. I'm one of the owners at Downtown Barber Co.
Great. Nice to see you.
Nice.
Do you have any comments, anything you'd care to discuss before we begin our review?
For the most part, I'm pretty sure that I gave you all an outline of basically what we're going to be doing. We're basically just going to be tearing down the old plywood that's falling off right now and replacing it with smooth wood. We're going to be painting it and just putting up probably about 4 to 5 barn lights over the top of our sign and a barber pole and an additional sign that's like Mean Max's sign that you can see from the street when you're walking up and down it. We're going to replace the tiles that are falling off the bottom below the windows, and we're going to replace the walkway with just basically sidewalk concrete, because right now it's like almost like a bathroom tile, which is very, very slick. And we've had a few people fall. if you're aware of what 173 Glen Street, it's the old nail salon, and it's in really, really rough shape. And we've been in this location for about almost a full year now, a year in June, and we are dying to get a sign up. We're dying to just basically reface the entire front of that building because it looks like hell right now. And so that's the only thing I could say. And I'm not sure if you guys have the outline, but I know that I put a description of what everything will look like right on this little.
Yeah, everyone has that. Thank you, Mr. Cheryl.
Yeah, so that's basically, and we're gonna get started on it as soon as we possibly can, so we can have it before the summer, before it gets really busy downtown.
Good. Yeah, I think the building's in rough shape is an understatement.
Yeah,
So-
understatement for sure. And starting to get people to say that we looks like a drug front, and I don't really want that to be said about us. So
No, not at all. Okay. Thank you for your comments. Are there any members of the public that care to comment on this?
I see no hands up right now, Mr. Bruno. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Pape. There being none, we'll proceed with our architectural consultant, Mr. Brown.
On the paperwork side, my application copy did not include an applicant certification form. The other agenda items here did, and perhaps it was just an omission in my package, but if it has been submitted, then my comment is moot. The only question I have about the work is the light fixtures are described as a barn-style light fixture. I think the board should know what that means or looks like. Is there a photograph or a catalog cut that would illustrate it?
yeah, if you're familiar with Mean Max, if you're familiar with the Coldwell banking building, all those buildings have barn lighting hanging over their entrance, and it's just basically oh man, it's I can't even describe it right now, but I can picture it in my head. It's basically like a light that hangs
on an arm.
Is that the one on the arm?
it's
Yeah,
an arm
yeah,
and-
yeah.
yeah. And if you're familiar with like the Coldwell building or Mean Max or almost anything that almost all the buildings down there have barn lighting, but it's yeah. So that's basically
Right, it's kind of a curved support
pipe,
with a light at the end.
A gooseneck?
Yeah.
There
sort
you
of
go.
gooseneck.
Yeah, exactly like a gooseneck light that hangs out a little bit.
I think it'll look very nice there, personally.
Yeah.
Just me.
Okay. I've got to admit, I'm not familiar with the term barn style. But,
No, I'm sorry.
yeah. But no, that sounds, if the board is satisfied with that, that's it. Satisfied with that, I'm fine.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. Something to that.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah,
Gooseneck
that's
barn
exactly
lights.
what I'm looking for. Something just like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
I've actually got those hanging in my driveway minus the gooseneck.
Yeah.
So
It might
yours
not
don't
be
look
as
as good.
goose as the.
Yours won't look as good as these, Mr. Brown.
It's the gooseneck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Any other comments, Mr. Brown?
No, thanks.
Thank you. All right, we'll proceed with the planning board members. Mr. Accardi, any comments?
No, no comments at all.
Thank you. Ms. Andrews,
No comments, thank you.
thank you.
Be a welcome addition.
Ms. Colligan,
So I do have some comments. I'm very excited for you to redo this building. Preface it with that. You know, walking downtown every summer morning, it's I would stop and notice all of the tiles that were missing and things like that. So I'm very happy that it's going to be redone. My only concern is that you want to replace the wood and paint it all black, correct?
We're gonna paint, it's gonna be like a flat black. It's not gonna be like a shiny like black. It'll be flat black. It'll match our the frame of our windows basically. So it's all like one smooth color. And yeah.
Well, so then you have the sign will be made of metal and it will be black. So it's gonna
It'll be steel. I think that might have been an error.
Okay.
Because my other owner that we're looking to get the sign right now, he thought we were looking at a black finish too, but it's gonna be steel.
Okay.
Yeah, like a rough steel look. And I think our lighting might be either a steel or black. We haven't decided fully yet, but whatever is probably more affordable at the time, we're gonna probably go with that.
Okay. So all of the wood will be painted black and that's it?
Yeah, just the wood. Yep.
Okay.
Just the whatever wood we're putting up will be flat black.
Okay. That's it.
thank you very much. Ms. Murray?
I think you guys did a nice job on the last place. I think this is going to be great and a great addition, and I'm glad you're staying in town. My only question was, what is the projecting sign that says with the pictures in parentheses?
So, you know, Mean Max's sign that hangs like from the side so you can see it when you're walking up and down the street?
Yep.
We had one of our friends make us our logo, which is we had someone build our a sign that's our logo like this, that is going to be in the same sort of like frame as Mean Max's sign that you can see from the street when you're walking up it. So that's what that's going to be like, similar to Mean Max's. It doesn't light up. It's just something that my friend made from scratch at his house, and it's pretty durable. We got to put another coat of stain on it so it doesn't get weathered, but that's pretty much what that is on the diagram.
Okay, great. No, I think this is going to be a great addition to the neighborhood. Good luck. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank
Very
you.
Good. Thank you, Ms. Murray. Mr. Hall?
Yeah, I think that anything that you're going to do to the front facade is going to help. You know, and I agree. I think that the fixing of that tile coming in and out of the front door is certainly going to help. It's still going to slope, correct? It's not going to have a.
It's going to still slope, yeah, but it's going to be like sidewalk. It's not going to be tile, so it's not going to be as slippery.
Concrete.
Yeah, concrete, exactly.
Kind of concrete finish. Yep. So yeah, I think that's fine. The only other thing would be just a sign permit has to be obtained. That's all from the city.
Okay.
I'm
pretty sure I applied for that too. Like this whole thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, that was the only other thing that I had. So that's it.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Green.
Just one question. On your drawing here, it's showing where the tile is below the windows.
Yep.
What are you going to replace that with?
It's going to be wood too. It's all going to anything that's being pulled off like underneath the frame of the window is all going to be like a smooth wood.
Okay. Well, do you think that's going to hold up in the snow and the ice? And
I honestly wanted it to be like a Rosetta Stone or something like that, but my landlord was kind of like going away from it. I wanted it to be something I could see like the crack, not like all underneath. If you want to not approve it and make my landlord pay for the stone, that would be great. But I'm pretty sure I don't know.
It might have something to do with the weight of the sign off the front of the building.
No, this is down below the windows.
No, down below the window.
Oh, below the window. Oh, that.
Yeah, because it's all like a tile right now. I mean, anything is gonna look better than what it is right now. But I mean, what's more durable than tile? And those things are falling apart, you know. So I'm not 100% on how to answer that question one, but I feel like if we just maintain it, it'll hold up.
Okay, I was just curious. I'm not an architect, and I really don't know. So I just don't know how wood will hold up with sucking moisture up off the sidewalk and stuff. I don't know how the paint will, So I think
it's gonna have to be, it's gonna have to be like a marine grade plywood.
Yeah, that's what my landlord was talking about, doing something that's that'll hold up as long as we possibly can have it hold up for.
Yeah, and it'll really depend on the paint finish that you put on there. If you use like a marine grade deck paint or something like that on the vertical surface, it's not so much the water that's going to damage it. It's going to be the salt and stuff that gets put down in the wintertime. That's what's going to damage it the most.
Okay.
There is a sign permit there, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, are we all set?
Yep.
Yes.
Very good. I had no additional comments. We need seeker here, Mr. Fitzgerald.
So I only have two comments. One on seeker. From what's been described, it appears to be fairly minor repairs that would be exempt from seeker review. My other comment was on the sign permit. So there is a sign permit application included with the materials. Looking at it, it appears to be seeking approval for the sign, the lettering across the front of the building. The applicant's also describing a second sign. So it's really separate from the architectural review, but I would defer to Mr. Vanderzee, but he may need to submit a second application. If the other protruding thing constitutes a sign, then need an application for that. And then if you can't get that by right, you'd have to come back for a variance on that. I just don't have the full sign regulations in front of me.
Okay. My initial concern is mainly just our first downtown Barbacoa sign. So if we have to come back, even if we can put that sign, we can use that sign on the inside of our shop. You know what I mean? Whatever we have to do to get like the normal sign that says our shop, like that's my only concern. And if I have to come back for the other one, the one that you're talking about, there's no problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't delay anything tonight because of it. It's just a note that to follow up with the code office about
right
sign permit application.
Right.
Okay.
Does a sign protruding over the sidewalk require an encroachment permit, or is that?
In certain cases, I think the code does require that.
So that's something else that you could discuss with Mr. Vanderzee.
Yeah, I know we did the one for Davidson's, we had to give them the approval, but the one for me, Max, I don't think it came to us for that.
I agree.
Yeah, there's certain specs as far as.
Yeah, I think it has to do, with the sign and the amount of projection and things like that, so.
Right.
Also, if you're getting two signs and it only allows you to get one, then you need a variance for the second sign. So that could have been another reason the Davidsons came in front. If they've got one, you can picture Davidsons, but I don't know if they have two signs. If they already had one on their building, then they put up the sort of marquee type sign that they would have needed a separate permit.
Yeah, they have lettering on the front of the brew house, and then they have the one that goes up the side of the wall that we approved.
Yeah.
Both front
But
and back.
that's, yeah, for the applicant though, that's a separate than the architectural review you're seeking tonight.
Right. Yep.
The board can grant the architectural review if they want, and then you can follow up with the code office about its various sign permits.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll proceed. I'll make a motion that Glens Falls Planning Board, acting as a Board of Architectural Review, hereby grants architectural approval. The project identified as Downtown Barber Company LLC, located at 173 to 175 Glen Street, as presented at the meeting of 4 May 2021. And the applicant, as a formality, should submit the signed acknowledgement form. You can just submit that. It's not a biggie, but it's supposed to be submitted with each application. Well, anyway, do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hall, any discussion?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Accardi. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. So approved. Good luck, Mr. Basharo. And I echo Ms. Murray's sentiments. Glad you're staying in Glens Falls.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks. Bye.
So I don't believe have anything else. Mr. Fitzgerald and I will be continuing to review and assemble the proposed updates and modifications to the city code, things that have been submitted over the past few years. We'll be meeting tomorrow. So other than that, I had nothing. Does anyone else have anything?
Next meeting is 1 June, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, it just says
Yeah,
on the
did I
bottom
not-
that it's,
I
it
didn't
says
change-
it says 5 May, and I hope we're not meeting tomorrow too.
Where do you see that?
On the bottom of your agenda, it says next meeting scheduled for 5 May 2021.
Not the one I'm looking at. The one I'm looking at says next meeting Tuesday. Well, it's backwards.
Right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mean between,
Yeah,
that's
on the
Mr.
bottom
Fitzgerald and I.
of your agenda. That's okay.
That's Mr. Fitzgerald and I.
Oh, okay.
Below that is the next planning board meeting.
Yeah.
Tuesday, June 1.
Gotcha.
Okay. So yeah, we are meeting tomorrow, 5 May. Now, that said, I'll make a motion that we adjourn the planning board meeting of 4 May 2021.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
You too.
Mr. Pape, always good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dan. See you
Good
next.
job as always.